My therapist said he keeps a copy of every client's house key. I'm writing this because I need to get it out. I don't know what this is exactly. A warning, a record, proof I still exist. Maybe just a way to convince myself I'm not losing my mind. Because that's how it works, right? That's how they get in. Not with violence, not with knives, with questions, with the slow unraveling of things you thought were solid. I started therapy a while back after a rough breakup. Classic stuff. Panic attacks, shame spirals, waking up at 3 a.m. convinced no one would ever love me again. Dr. N was recommended by a friend. Said he was calm, unusually perceptive. That turned out to be true. Too true. He looked the part. Mid-40s, soft voice, kind eyes, beard like a high school philosophy teacher. The office was beige and quiet, just a ticking clock and that faint smell of something herbal. Not flowers, something older, something you'd find in a drawer that hadn't been opened in decades. At first, he was exactly what I needed. He never interrupted, never pushed, just asked the right questions at the right time. A few sessions in, I was telling him things I hadn't told anyone. Things I hadn't even formed into words. That's what makes it so hard. He didn't feel dangerous. He felt safe. Until one day, he didn't. It was session 14. I remember because I had just started to feel like I was making progress. We were talking about my fear of home invasion. Not just the fear, but the rituals. Triple checking locks, leaving the hallway light on, sleeping with a flashlight under my pillow. He smiled and said, I keep a copy of every client's house key. He said it lightly, like a joke. I stared at him. He smiled again and said, just kidding. But there was a pause after that. The kind of silence that doesn't land right. Like he was watching to see how much I believed him. I laughed awkwardly, said something like, guess I better start locking my windows too. He didn't reply, just wrote something down for the first time ever in our sessions. I should have walked away then. Over the next few weeks, little things started happening at home. At first, I thought I was just being forgetful. I'd come home and my shampoo bottle would be in the wrong place. Not falling, just rotated. The lid unscrewed a little. Once, my toothbrush was damp at 3 p.m. I hadn't been home since morning. Another time, the fridge door was open just a crack. Nothing missing, nothing spoiled, just open. It never escalated. Nothing loud, nothing obvious, just wrongness in the small details. I started testing it. Taped a single hair across the crack of my bedroom door. Sprinkled talcum powder by the entryway. Left a glass of water on the counter and measured the meniscus. I didn't tell anyone, not even Dr. N. I wanted to be sure. The hair would be gone. The powder scuffed. The water level lower by millimeters. So I changed the locks, but a triple deadbolt system, self-installed. Didn't tell my landlord, didn't write it down, didn't even mention it out loud in my apartment. Next session, he smiled and said, feeling safer at home now? That was the last time I saw him. I stopped showing up, ignored his calls, blocked the clinic number. I thought I was done. But a week later, he emailed me. Notice you've been distant. Just checking that you're safe at home. There it was again, the phrase, safe at home. I moved the next month, new suburb, new number. Didn't tell friends my address. Scrubbed myself off every online listing I could find. Bought blackout curtains and a door jammer. I even covered the peephole with tape. It worked. for a while. Then yesterday I checked my letterbox. Inside was a plain white envelope. No name, no stamp, no return address. Just my unit number in block letters. My new unit number. One I never gave out. Inside the envelope was a single key. My key. Taped to a sheet of blank paper. And written underneath in tiny, careful handwriting. You forgot to give me your spare. I haven't gone to the police. What should I even say? My ex-therapist mailed me my own key and I'm scared he exists? They would ask how he got the address. I wouldn't have an answer. They would ask for proof. I wouldn't have any. They would ask if I was still taking my medication. And maybe that's the point. Because I think this was never about therapy. It was about access, conditioning, compliance. I thought the sessions were for healing, but now I think there were rehearsals. Every question was a prompt. Every silence was a test. Every joke was a blueprint. And when I stopped showing up, it didn't stop him. It activated him. Since the envelope arrived, small things have started again. The blind shifts positions. A spoon I never use ends up in the sink. My razor is slightly damp in the morning. Once I woke up and the light in the closet was on. I haven't opened that door in weeks. Last night I was going through my drawer and found something that wasn't mine. A folded piece of paper between receipts and expired coupons. It was a printout of my original intake form from last year. Date stamped, signed, my handwriting. But under the notes section, in red pen, was something new. Client case file 0042. Complete acquisition. Progress 92%. Do not interrupt cycle. And then scribbled beneath in shaky black ink, my own handwriting, but wrong, like I had written it in a dream. I consent. That's how this ends. It's how it was meant to end. I thought I escaped him, but now I think the only reason I still exist is because he's not finished yet. And tonight, as I write this, I just heard something in the hallway. Not a creak, not a thump, a click. Deliberate, mechanical. A key turning in the deadbolt.